William Friedkin's The Exorcist is a certified classic. The 1973 film is near perfect. Father Karras's crisis of faith provided a juicy foundation for a blood-curdling possession horror story as young Regan, played by Linda Blair, gets possessed by a particularly malevolent demon. In The Exorcist Believer, director David Gordon Green's sequel of sorts to Friedkin's original, that same demon is back. And this time, it's two for the price of one at the possession market. Victor, played by Leslie Odom Jr., is the single father of Angela. After the tragic death of Angela's mother, Victor's grip on Angela has become very tight. Angela and her friend Catherine vanish without a trace one day, only to turn up 3 days later, with no memory of what happened to them. It quickly becomes clear that not everything is alright with the children. They're exhibiting your standard possession behaviours, like snarling, hissing, and generally just looking really bloody evil. Guided by the advice of a neighbour, played by Ann Dowd, Victor seeks the help of Chris McNeil, the only one who has ever come face to face with such an evil. Chris is of course played by a returning Ellen Burstyn. The Exorcist Believer is helplessly weighed down by the fact that it's a carbon copy of David Gordon Green's 2018 film, Halloween. That film was also designed as an algorithm-friendly way to soft reboot a franchise, while also continuing to feed into its legacy. And of course, that film brought back Jamie Lee Curtis as Laurie to give the character some form of closure. In Halloween, that formula worked like a charm, but its two sequels were hit and miss with audiences and critics alike. In The Exorcist Believer, the charm and appeal of that formula has worn even thinner, and the filmmaking just feels cold and calculated. But perhaps the biggest sin the film commits is that it's simply not scary. Friedkin's original put as much effort into the story as it did in a quietly oppressive mood and eventual horror, and the result was a deeply scarring, haunted film. The Exorcist Believer pales in comparison to its predecessor, so much so that it's almost unfair to speak of them in the same sentence. It's not all bad. There are a lot of interesting ideas, but there simply isn't enough tension or intrigue to keep us interested. While the original film had a firm grasp on religion, Green's film is frustratingly superficial in that respect. The script, by Green and Peter Sattler, seems to throw every single horror cliché at the wall and hope that at least one thing sticks. Spoiler alert, none of them do. At least the film has a great cast, even if most of them are wasted. Leslie Odom Jr. isn't awarded much to work with here, and the two gifted, spirited young actors, playing Angela and Catherine, are caked under standard possession horror makeup. Burstyn is, as expected, a welcome presence, even if her role has been greatly exaggerated in the film's marketing. Ann Dowd fares perhaps the best of them, but like everyone else, her character is frustratingly thin. It's not impossible to make a good or even a great sequel to The Exorcist. It's just very hard, and as it stands, no one has managed it yet.